So here you have an equation for a parabola, and if you're asked to find its focus, you need to put it into one of these forms down here. You kind of see that it's similar to a form you've done before, but it's a little different. So you can see we will have a number in front of the value that's not squared, and we're going to use that to find p. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is, since the x squared the x value has an x squared, you want to move that to the other side. I like to just keep the 36 over here with the y. Okay. And we're going to say plus something because we're going to add something on so we can complete the square on the right side. Okay, so then this will be a 2x squared minus 16x plus blank. Well, we'll come back to that too. So if you don't put the plus blanks in yet, it's fine. So we're going to complete the square here. In order to complete the square there, we need a common factor, whatever is in front of the squared term, which in this case is a 2. So that's going to give you x squared minus 8x plus blank. Okay, so this just stays y minus 36 plus blank. Okay, so what do we figure out what we need to add to both sides by completing the square over here. You take the middle term, and you divide it in half, and then you square that value. This is a negative 4 times negative 4, which will give you a positive 16. Now, we didn't just add 16 over here to the right, we added in 2 times 16. See this right here? So we have to add in a 2 times 16 to the left so that our equation stays equal. Okay? So, then let's go ahead and simplify this. Gives you y minus 36 minus 32, which is going to end up being y minus 4. Excuse me, plus 32. Y minus 4. Okay? I'll put that in brackets if you'd like, so you can see we're getting closer to this. Equals, okay, 2 times the quantity, and if you factor this, x squared minus 8x plus 16, it's supposed to be a 16, right? This will be an x minus 4. It's always the value before you squared it. And it's looking close to this form, but we don't want a number in front of our x minus h quantity squared. This is what we have, is this one right here. Okay, so we want to get rid of it. And so basically, you could think of it as dividing both sides by 2 or multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of this, and that's how I do it. So I can rewrite this as 1/2 times the quantity of y minus 4 equals the quantity of x minus 4 squared. So one thing to remember is if you have a y equals graph for a parabola, this opens up or down. And so if this value is positive, it opens up. The value in front of the x squared is positive here when it's on the other side of the y. So that also tells us that it's going to be opening up. So I'm just going to kind of sketch that. Our center here is going to be, our x-coordinate of the center is 4. Excuse me, vertex, it's not the center in this one, is 4, and the y-coordinate is also 4. So here's your x-coordinate, and here's your y-coordinate. Now, so this is going to, you would plot that on there if you were plotting it. This is 4, 4. And then you always are going to add p, but what are you, you got to determine, okay, am I adding it to the x or the y value? So this is where the sketch comes in handy, and it tells me, hey, my vertex is going up from the, my focus is going up from the vertex. So I'm going to add that to the y value, because up and down is in the y direction. Okay, so first of all, we need to, I'm just going to add p to whatever that is. I'm just going to write that down. Okay, so we've got to determine what is p. So we take this 1/2 here, the value in front of your y minus 4 squared. We're going to set it equal to 4p. Okay, so 4p equals 1/2. So you divide both sides by 4 or multiply both sides by 1/4. It's the same thing. And you get 1/2 times 1/4 is 1/8. So we're going to add 1/8 onto this coordinate here. So you could write that as 4 and 1/8. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here, the focus. The x-coordinate stays the same, and the other one is 4 and 1/8. You also could have written that as 33/8. That is also the same point as 4 and 1/8. Okay, that's your focus.